This is where her background in 400-meter hurdling so often helps her bring it home. Britton Wilson is on top. Leah Anderson inside of her. Wilson holding her off. Here they come to the finish line. Britton Wilson is 2 for 2 in her return to the track, and this time she dips well under 51 seconds.
She's starting to trend in the right direction.
Britton Wilson just stunned the track world. After 14 months of injury and doubt, she stormed back with an incredible 50.54 to win the 400 meters at the Ed Murphey Classic, beating a world-class field and nearly nailing her written goal to the 100th of a second. Her comeback wasn't just physical, it was psychological mastery, changing what's possible after a year away from the sport. The final race of the night was set for 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Athletes had been waiting all day, nerves building as the Memphis crowd prepared for something special. The women's 400-meter field was stacked with talent. Talitha Diggs, the 2022 U.S. champion who had dipped under 50 seconds 2 seasons ago. Leah Anderson from Jamaica, who finished 4th at Jamaican Championships. And Taylor Manson, the 25-year-old Tokyo Olympian who won bronze in the mixed 4x400-meter relay, with Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone out due to illness. All eyes turned to Wilson, the 24-year-old Arkansas product who once ran 49.13 back in 2023. That time marked her as one of the world's elite, but injuries had kept her sidelined from April 2024 until just June 2025. Wilson's rise to prominence had been meteoric. At Arkansas, she became a multi-time national champion and established herself as a dual-event threat in both the 400-meter flat and 400-meter hurdles. In 2023, she claimed the NCAA championship and finished as U.S. runner-up in the 400 meters. Her versatility shone through when she placed 5th in the World Championships in the 400-meter hurdles back in 2022. That 49th point, 1-3 personal best in 2023, put her among the world's fastest women in the quarter mile. She had mastered both events, using her hurdling background to develop the kind of finishing kick that separates good sprinters from great ones. Everything pointed toward a breakthrough 2024 season. Then came the injury. Wilson disappeared from competition in April 2024, beginning what would become a 14-month absence from the sport she dominated. The entire 2024 season passed without a single race. Physical rehabilitation merged with mental battles as Wilson faced the uncertainty that haunts every injured athlete. Would she ever return to her previous level? Her first race back came in June 2025 at the Star Athletic Sprint Series. Wilson won, but her time of 51.37 reflected the rust of more than a year away from competition. It was a tentative return, a careful test of whether her body could handle the demands of elite sprinting again. Now, just weeks later at the Ed Murphey Classic, Wilson found herself in Lane 5, surrounded by world-class competition. The lane assignments told the story of the field's depth. Taylor Manson in Lane 3, Leah Anderson in Lane 4, Wilson in 5, Vimbayi Maisvorewa of Zimbabwe in 7, who had run the Zimbabwe record of 50.25 this year, Talitha Diggs in 8, and Joanne Reed from Jamaica in 9. Every single woman in the field had competed in the SEC during their collegiate careers, creating a familiar but fierce rivalry atmosphere. When the gun fired, Talitha Diggs got out quickly on the outside in Lane 8, making up an early stagger on Joanne Reed. Wilson, with 2 lanes between her and Maisvorewa, was difficult to measure in the early stages. Maisvorewa began eating up ground on Diggs, who had gone out fast but then settled. At the 200-meter mark, Wilson began to show her class. She started gaining ground steadily, looking smooth and controlled as she had in her championship days. Maisvorewa began to fade slightly, while Wilson continued her relentless march toward the front. Coming down the home stretch, Wilson's 400-meter hurdling background became evident. That finishing kick, developed through years of clearing barriers while maintaining speed, propelled her past the field. She took the lead and held off Leah Anderson's charge inside of her. The crowd erupted as Wilson crossed the finish line, clearly ahead of the field. When the time flashed on the scoreboard, Wilson's smile told the entire story. 50.54. She had improved by nearly a full second from her comeback race just weeks earlier, progressing from 51.37 to 50.54 in her second race back from injury. Leah Anderson finished second in 50.90, with Talitha Diggs taking 3rd place. The significance of 50.54 cannot be overstated. Wilson had returned to sub-51 second territory in just her second race after 14 months away. She was not only competitive again, but dominant, winning by more than 0.3 of a second against a world-class field. After the race, Wilson revealed her secret weapon, goal manifestation.
I feel really good. I literally wrote down 50.5, so that's why I smiled so big when I saw the time.
I literally wrote down 50.5, so that's why I smiled so big when I saw the time, because it was what I wanted to run, and I feel really good about it. Her precision was remarkable. She had targeted 50.5 and ran 50.54, missing her written goal by just 0.04 of a second. This wasn't a new practice for Wilson.
I do, yeah. I've done it since I came to Arkansas and had that amazing year at Arkansas, and it just kind of kept going from there. I just always write down my goals. And
I've done it since I came to Arkansas and had that amazing year at Arkansas, and it just kind of kept going from there. I just always write down my goals and stare at them like the night before. The psychological preparation that helped her dominate in college had survived her injury layoff and returned stronger than ever. When asked about how this performance set her up for USA Championships, Wilson's confidence was evident.
It sets me up great. I think it's a big confidence booster. I think also my body felt physically good, which is what I was hoping to feel. So going into USA's, it's going to make me feel a lot more better about how I'm going to race there.
All right, 400.
It sets me up great. I think it's a big confidence booster. I think also my body felt physically good, which is like what I was hoping to feel. So going into USA's, it's going to make me feel a lot more better about how I'm going to race there. Wilson also clarified her event focus for the championships, confirming she would compete in the 400-meter flat, not the 400-meter hurdles. This decision positions her directly against the deepest 400-meter field in American history. The broader context makes Wilson's comeback even more remarkable. American women's 400-meter running has reached unprecedented depths this season. Multiple athletes have already dipped under 50 seconds, and the competition for USA Championship spots will be fierce. Wilson's 50.54 puts her right back in the conversation among the world's best. Her physical condition appears sound after the long rehabilitation process. My body felt physically good, which is like what I was hoping to feel, she explained post-race. This suggests her injury concerns are behind her, and she can focus purely on performance, rather than managing physical limitations. The timeline from injury to elite performance tells an incredible story. April 2024 to June 2025 represents 14 months of uncertainty, rehabilitation, and gradual return to training. June 2025 brought a tentative 51.37 comeback victory. July 2025 delivered a dominant 50.54 performance that announced her return to the world stage. Wilson's comeback transcends athletics. Her systematic approach to goal setting, combined with her ability to execute under pressure after extended time away, demonstrates mental resilience that extends far beyond track and field. The precision of hitting her written goal in such a high-stakes environment shows an athlete operating at the highest level of sports psychology. With USA Championships just weeks away, Wilson has positioned herself as a legitimate contender after being written off for over a year. Her progression from 51.37 to 50.54 in such a short time frame suggests even faster times could be coming. The 49.13 personal best from 2023 no longer seems like a distant memory, but rather a realistic target for the remainder of the season. Britton Wilson's impossible comeback proves that with proper preparation, mental fortitude, and precise goal setting, even the longest setbacks can become the foundation for the greatest triumphs.
Another really good start there, and they're away in this men's under-18 200-metre final, so we're about to wind him up and watch him go here. Gout. He's already got the stagger, so he moves right on past Chase Grant, and now we really start to open him up. So let the legs loose and let the kid run. He is absolutely gone. He is Gout of this world. 20.07. Wow. That is not
Gout just did what everyone hoped wouldn't happen. He didn't just win, he destroyed the field. At only 17, he broke records, outran legends, and etched his name into history. People knew this day would come, but no one thought it'd be this soon. They were scared of the moment he'd take over. Well, that moment is here. The beginning of something unstoppable. From the very first steps on the track, those close to him knew there was something different about Gout. Born in Queensland, Australia, to South Sudanese parents who migrated in 2005, his journey started far from any spotlight. But even back at Ipswich Grammar School, teachers and coaches could see it. Quiet, focused, and unbelievably fast, he stood out, not just because he was quick, but because of the way he carried himself. He wasn't just another fast kid. He was the fast kid, and then came December 2024, the Australian All-Schools Championships. That was the day everything changed. At just 16, Gout ran the 200 meters in a mind-blowing 20.04 seconds. That wasn't just fast, it was history-breaking. He smashed Usain Bolt's under-18 record of 20.13 seconds, a record that had stood untouched for more than 20 years. In that single race, he didn't just beat history, he rewrote it. The record that echoed worldwide. Gout's 20th of April wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. He broke Peter Norman's 56-year-old Australian national record, and overnight, the world took notice. Track and field forums lit up, Olympic analysts started talking, and even Usain Bolt's own fans began to whisper, "Is this the one? Is Gout the next sprinting phenomenon?" In a sport ruled by loud, larger-than-life stars, here was a quiet teenager with world-class speed and a calm, almost unbothered attitude. He didn't go looking for the spotlight, but the spotlight chased him anyway. Climbing higher in Perth, then came April 2025, the Australian Athletics Championships in Perth, the 200-meter final. The stakes were higher than ever, and expectations were through the roof. But Gout, he didn't even flinch, and he delivered the kind of performance athletes spend their whole lives dreaming about. He ran a jaw-dropping 19.84 seconds. The crowd erupted. Commentators were left speechless. But there was a twist. The tailwind was just slightly over the legal limit, plus 2.2 meters per second, just 0.2 over what would have made his time official. But honestly, it didn't matter, because wind or no wind, that race made one thing clear. Gout had arrived, respect and rivalry. But it wasn't just his speed that stole the headlines that day, it was what happened before the race even started. Lachlan Kennedy, Gout's biggest rival in Australia, false started. Disqualified before he could even take a step. It was a brutal moment, but as the race ended and cameras zoomed in, Kennedy didn't walk away in anger. Instead, he went straight to Gout and pulled him in for an embrace. No bitterness, no ego, just pure respect. That moment went viral. Two young men chasing greatness, understanding exactly what it takes. For Kennedy, his journey continues. For Gout, it was just another brick laid on the road to legend. Not just the next Bolt. People can't help but compare him to Usain Bolt, and honestly, it makes sense. Gout's times at just 16 and 17 have already beaten what Bolt ran at the same age. But here's the thing. Gout isn't out there trying to be the next Bolt. He's building his own path. A legacy that isn't just about records, but about discipline, resilience, and that quiet fire inside him. Just 2 weeks before his incredible 19.84 run, Gout actually had a disappointing race. Most athletes would have crumbled under that kind of pressure, but not him. He trained harder, locked in his focus, and came back to run one of the fastest under 2,200-meter times ever recorded in any conditions. Behind every sprint, a relentless coach. Behind all of this is his coach, Di Shepherd. She isn't someone who came from an elite athletics background. In fact, she used to work in retail before stepping into coaching through local Little Athletics. Her journey wasn't built on privilege or big-name opportunities, but on grit, knowledge, and a clear vision. Shepherd noticed what many others missed. She didn't just focus on Gout's speed, she saw the strength of his character, and her own story is just as powerful. After surviving a near-fatal accident and going through 11 surgeries, she continues to live with chronic pain, yet remains on track every day, mentoring Australia's best. For her, Gout is a masterpiece in progress. Together, they're redefining what true coaching success looks like. A teen living like a pro. While most 17-year-olds are busy hanging out with friends or cramming for their exams, Gout's life is completely different. His days are filled with 6 training sessions a week, gym workouts, video analysis of his races. And on top of all that, he still keeps up with his schoolwork. His coach had told him early on that at this level, there's barely any social life left. Gout understood that and accepted it without any complaints, just pure commitment. That's exactly why coaches all over the world are keeping an eye on him. He doesn't just run like a professional, he thinks like one too. Europe, Florida, and what's next? And now, Gout's rise isn't just limited to Australia. In the coming months, he's heading to Europe to race against some of the best junior sprinters in the world. He'll be up against tougher competition, dealing with different climates and new challenges. But he's ready for it. What's even bigger is that he signed up to train with Olympic champion Noah Lyles in Florida. That's like learning to paint from Picasso. It shows that the very best in the sport believe in him. And now, he's getting ready to take that belief to the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, the 2032 dream. Still, everything Gout is doing now is building toward one colossal moment, the 2032 Brisbane Olympics. His home soil, he'll be 24. That's when sprinters peak. That's where his team sees the final form. 2032 isn't just a goal, it's the summit, and every 200 meters, every wind-assisted sprint, every training session, it's all a climb toward that mountaintop. Bigger than speed. But what Gout stands for is so much bigger than just fast times and broken records. He's becoming the face of a new generation, one that's diverse, driven, and never shaken by pressure. He's proving that greatness doesn't always have to shout out loud. Sometimes it just runs faster than everyone else and lets the stopwatch do the talking. His inspiration isn't only Usain Bolt, he looks up to Eliud Kipchoge for his discipline and Kathy Freeman for the legacy she created. For Gout, it's not just about medals. He wants to make an impact. The whole world is watching him now. And every time he steps on the track, there's a chance something special will happen. Running a legal sub-10 in the 100 meters? Very likely. Setting a new world junior record in the 200? Completely possible. Becoming a future Olympic finalist? Almost guaranteed. But when you watch him, don't just watch for the numbers. Watch for the story. The story of an immigrant kid from Queensland with quiet confidence and a coach who believed in him when no one else did, turning into the most electrifying sprinter the world has seen since Usain Bolt. Gout didn't ask for the spotlight, but he's earned it. Every stride takes him closer to history. They feared this day. Now it's here, and all we can do is watch him become a legend. Like and subscribe if you want to say you knew his name before the world did. Gout isn't waiting for greatness, he's sprinting into it.
Another quick time from Bayanda Walaza. Such a talent. The next generation of sprinting. He rounded down to 9.94, so a new personal best for Walaza.
A 19-year-old just did something so fast, so shocking, it left the world speechless. He ran 100 meters in only 9.94 seconds. How did Bayanda Walaza, a teen with a wild running style, beat records no one thought he could touch? What happens next might change sprinting forever. Sports Park Mladost became the stage for something extraordinary. The 19-year-old South African sensation crossed the finish line in 9.94 seconds, breaking his previous national U20 record of 9.99 set just 2 months earlier in Pretoria. The performance sent shockwaves through the athletics community. Track and field has entered a new era. Teenagers no longer wait for their turn on the biggest stages. They're seizing them and performing incredibly well, leaving experienced athletes behind. Arion Knighton destroyed Usain Bolt's U18 200-meter record as a teenager. He now competes consistently at the highest senior level. Australia's Gout turns heads with remarkable performances on the national stage. This surge of youthful excellence has fundamentally reshaped global sprinting. Evolving training methods and greater access to specialized coaching from earlier ages fuel this transformation. Bayanda Walaza stands at the forefront of this, making his own mark on the sport. Walaza's journey began taking shape in early 2023. At the Athletic South Africa U18 Championships, he showcased his skills by winning the national 200-meter title and securing silver in the 100-meter. These performances signaled his dominance across short distances. The early months of 2024 saw continued momentum building. In March, at the South Africa U20 Championships, he secured the 100-meter title with a personal best of 10.13 seconds. These performances firmly established him as a leading figure in South African sprinting at both junior and senior levels. The pinnacle of Walaza's career arrived with the 2024 Paris Olympics. Initially named as a reserve in South Africa's 4x100-meter relay squad, he traveled more to support than compete.